What is going on? What is going on? As y'all can see here, I got the wrong title for tonight, but that is all right. That is okay. Because what we're going to do is that we're still going to have a good time, y'all. We're still going to have a great time. It's going to be a great conversation. But tonight's real topic of conversation will be house rules. It will be about things that we really got to discuss as couples at the end of the day. What is okay? What is not okay? Is it okay to leave the toilet seat up? We're going to discuss that. Is it okay, I don't know, for whoever does the bathroom that they could, that whoever cleans the bathroom, whoever washed the dishes, that they clean it the way they're supposed to clean it? All that we're going to get into, y'all. It's going to be a good conversation. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's going to say what, when, or how. But what I do know is we're about to get in this, y'all. We are about to get in this. So y'all be patient and let's roll.
What up, world? It's the F.I.R.M.
Let's get it. Welcome to the F.I.R.M.
Oh, it's about to go down.
Set your schedule for 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Saturday Nights Live for a time that's one of a kind.
Woo-wee. There's nothing off the table, no trolling. We go from politics to religion to relationships to whether or not you like crunchy or soft taco.
Woo! Forget about a love language. What about your love level?
Oh man, we excited for this one.
On all social media platforms.
So make sure you follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Fellowship in a righteous manner. That's the best.
With your hosts, Flavius and Ulysses. We roll at
6 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Hopefully everybody's having a great day today. Excuse the lagging. We're trying to get some things situated here in the background, but hope you guys are having a great night. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to another edition of the F.I.R.M. Podcast, where every Saturday night we are here, we are live, we are in color. We are in color, so hopefully you guys are doing well today. I am doing well. Let me tell y'all about my week. My week has been hot. You know what I mean? Like, if there was another word for hot, let me tell you guys, I for sure would use it. It has been a very, 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 very hot day today. Week, excuse me. Today was a hot day, dude. Today was a hot day as well, man. I was looking at, thankfully, for the most part, I was able to look out the window today and be like, man, it's hot. Man, it's a little warm out there. Let me go and check my phone right quick and see. Whoo, Yeah. It's 107 degrees out there, y'all. It's hot. So I did have to step out for a few, but thankfully the storms done rolled in and cooled the weather off a little bit. So I've been able to enjoy the cool of the day, as they say. So I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for that time of outdoorsy where I had to go out, but the Lord provided a way for me to remain cool. So I appreciate that. How are you guys doing today? Let me know how you guys are doing today. Like I said, my week was a hot week, so work was kind of slow. Uh, not that I'm complaining. Work whenever work is slow, we as they say, try to take advantage of it to the best of our ability. You know what I mean? So hopefully y'all had a great week. Hopefully you guys had a a week that was not drama filled, a week that was where you able to relax a little bit, let your hair down, as they say, let the hair down. If I had any hair, I for sure would definitely let my hair down. But unfortunately, the Lord at a early at an early tender age of 25 said, I'm taking that hair from you. So, but at least He blessed me with a good enough with I mean, I do got a big head, but at least a good, nice size head, to where I'm able to rock the ball look. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm doing good, y'all. Doing good, doing great. As y'all can see, my homie, my boy, Mr. Flavius Tyler is not with us again tonight. Um, work, when work calls, y'all. Like, you got to deal with the stuff. You got to deal with the responsibilities that come with work. So unfortunately, he's not able to be with us. But y'all, he made me a promise today, and he said that he will be here to bless us with his presence next week. So we're gonna get back into the swing of things. We've been kind of MIA with the Firm podcast for a little bit, but we're getting back on track. We're figuring some stuff out, adjusting to new things that's going on in life. So I hope you guys are adjusting to everything that's going on in your life. God has a way of revealing some things to us, exposing some things to us. The blessings that come with everything that He has is going to require some adjustments. And with those, can you adjust even to the blessings? Like we always talk about, can you adjust to the bad things that happen in your life? You got to be able to adjust. You got to be able to maneuver. You got to be able to do whatever the case is. But even when God blesses you, can you adjust? That sounds like a message in itself for another time. But yes, you can adjust, and yes, we must adjust even to the blessings that God has in store for you, for me, for everybody whom God chooses to bless, whom God chooses to give favor and mercy on. So, um, outside of that, y'all, house rules. We're gonna jump into this thing. We're gonna discuss it. There's some in every relationship. Rules got to be made, right? In every relationship, boundaries got to be set. So we're going to discuss some of those things with you guys tonight, and hopefully we can find some answers to the age-old question of questions like the toilet seat. Does that stay up or does it stay down? We'll be back in a minute. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Stay tuned. Get your mind right. Get ready. Because, I might say some things that might sound, a little controversial. I might say some things that will stir the pot a little bit, only because you need to, only because it's a must. So, with that being said, I want to officially welcome you guys to the F.I.R.M podcast.
What up, what up, what up, world? It's the F.I.R.M.
Let's get it. Welcome to the F.I.R.M.
Oh, it's about to go down.
Set your schedule for 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Saturday Nights Live for a time that's one of a kind.
Woo-wee. There's nothing off the table, no trolling. We go from politics to religion to relationships to whether or not you like crunchy or soft tacos.
Woo! Forget about a love language. What about your love level?
Oh man, we excited for this one.
On all social media platforms.
So make sure you follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Fellowship in a righteous manner. That's the banner.
With your hosts, Flavius and Ulysses. We roll at
6 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time. All right. We back. We are live. We are in color. Thank you guys so much for joining in. For those who are watching on YouTube, we appreciate you guys watching on YouTube. We appreciate you guys who are watching live on Facebook. And we also want to give a big shout out to those who are watching after the show. We don't give y'all the credit y'all deserve. Sometimes we look at the numbers and we see, for the live show, we get a certain amount of numbers. But then a couple of days later, we look and the numbers done jumped up. So we definitely give a big shout out to each and every single one of you guys that are watching the show after the fact. Today's topic of conversation, y'all, we got to discuss it. I want to know. The people want to know. You know what I mean? The people want to know what is the real deal. The people want to know what is going on. When it comes to relationships, we already know that relationships can be tough. And they are. We know that every single time, especially for those who jump into new relationships, there is that word again, right? The adjustment period. We have that adjustment period, on what we like, what we don't like, what we can compromise with, what we're not willing to compromise. The boundaries got to be set. The rules got to be laid down. So everybody is clear on what is what. We can discuss the financial implications to it. Finances are an important conversation. Super, super important, right? We can discuss finances all day long. We can discuss the importance of finances. We can discuss why, it is good to know at an early stage of the relationship whether or not your partner is good with their money, if they know how to spend right. Finances is one. Dealing with children, it's a whole other topic of conversation. How are you with my kids? How am I with your kids? How am I with your family? Rules of the house that has to be discussed, that has to be said, that has to be, again, the adjustments that need to be made when it comes to these things. How about cleaning? Who's responsible for cleaning? How does cleaning work? Who's going to do what? Somebody going to clean the downstairs while somebody cleans the upstairs? Who's going to be responsible for vacuuming the house? Who's going to be responsible for cleaning the infamous bathroom? Right? The bathroom that nobody likes to touch. Nobody wants to touch the bathroom. It stinks in there, And we all know what goes on. We all know what goes down in the bathroom, right? So cleaning is an important topic of conversation when it comes to rules of the house. What are we going to discuss? How about bills? What bills are going to be paid when it comes to the rules of the house? What bills are going to be paid? What is it that we need to talk about? Who's going to pay what? Who's responsible for what? Where's the money coming? Where's the money going? How can we successfully cohabitate in this environment? Some relationships where it's like, hey, I have my bank account, you got your bank account, we stick to that. Don't worry about joining accounts. I'm good. Other relationships, yeah, I ain't got nothing to hide. You ain't got nothing to hide. Let's join bank accounts. So that way we know where the money, we know when the money's coming in, we know how much is coming in, and we know what to pull out and what not to pull out. Rules of the house. What else? What other rules can we talk about when it comes to relationships? What other things can we discuss so that we know, like, hey, when problems arise, this is what we're going to be discussing. When problems arise, this is what we know to be true. Like, come can we find these rules? Can we follow these rules? That's like a whole other topic of conversation when it comes to relationships, when it comes to even roommates or whatever the case is. These are the rules. This is what I can do. This is what I can't do. Bottom line is communication, right? How big, how important is communication to you? How big is it to you? Does it really matter when it comes to the rules of the house? Can you figure it out? Be at peace with all the decisions that have been made, and then can everybody adhere to the decisions that have been made? Earlier this week, I put up a post that was funny, and people were chiming in, and it's like, hey, at the end of the day, you know, the toilet seat is up. We hear it all the time. Hey, a woman wants the toilet seat down. They want that toilet seat down in case they gotta go use the restroom in the middle of the night. That's their go-to. That is their go-to. What happens if I gotta use the bathroom at 3 o'clock in the morning and it's dark, and the last thing I'm thinking about is the toilet seat? And then I sit down and I fall right into the toilet. The toilet seat needs to be down. And the guys, we're like, but what about us? I mean, what's the big deal about the toilet seat being up? Like, for us, man, it becomes a habit that every time we use the restroom, the first thing we check to see if the toilet seat is up. I mean, it's pitch black dark. Our eyes are still closed. Our eyes are still closed, and we just reach for that toilet seat and push it up and go about our business, and go back to bed. Can can we negotiate? Is there a compromise? Can we figure something out? Is it fair? Is it fair? Is it a big deal? Like, how? I mean, and another argument that a woman will make is, hey, how hard is it to put the toilet seat down? How many seconds will it take for you to reach your hand and push it down? 2 seconds? 3 if you're tired? I don't know. I don't know. But those are legitimate arguments to be made when it comes to the toilet seat. Now, it's all fun and games. Everybody can laugh at it. Everybody can joke about it. But those are just an example of what couples got to go through when, especially new couples, when they have to adjust to the new living situation, when they got to adjust to their new partner that they have living with them. Which way does the toilet paper go? Does it go forward, or do you put it in backwards, or does it really matter? Does it really matter? Me personally, I like the toilet paper going forward, but some people like it going backwards. That's another age old question. That's another question that we probably will never really know. But regardless of the situation, house rules need to be set when it comes to relationships. Certain boundaries, certain things that you guys come up with collectively that needs to be followed, that needs to be adhered to, needs to be respected. That's a good word to use, right? Needs to be respected, because without respect in a relationship, without trust in a relationship, things can go bad and things can go bad quickly. For something as small as, hey, the toilet seat needs to be down, please. Had a conversation on Facebook with one of them, and she was like, that is something that I'm not going to compromise on. She's like, I want that toilet seat down because of that. And she used a big word, aerial, something, some or the other, like basically saying it's everything is airborne if you flush a toilet with the toilet seat up. And she don't want no germs anywhere in the air. So when you flush that toilet seat got to be down before you even flush the toilet. So no germs from whatever it is that you decide to do comes out. You got to respect that though. You got to respect that. So if somebody's in a relationship with her, if she is in a relationship, then her partner needs to understand that, because that's something that she was dead serious about, right? When you and your partner have a serious conversation about certain things, can you respect those boundaries? How much time do you allow? You know what I mean? Like the whole, like, how much time do you allow for, even for that adjustment period, before you look at at your partner, like you really just ain't listening, or you really just don't care, right? Like those are things that we have to look at and consider. Toilet seat, small little things that you can look at. Okay, you know, they're probably more like annoying than they are anything else, right? But what about the things that matter most? What about those things that you, without a shadow of a doubt, will not compromise on? Rules of the house. And I'm about to get a little deep with this, because this is a serious conversation that needs to be had, because you see in relationships where boundaries are set, like you come up with these rules, you come up with these boundaries, and you're like, hey, this is what needs to happen, and we cannot cross this line. And then I have seen it, I have counseled people where that certain line was crossed, and now what everybody does is push that line back. That line gets crossed again, and they just push that line back. And they keep pushing that line back because they do genuinely love that person, and they do generally want to work things out. So they keep pushing that line back in hopes that change will come. The other partner promises change, but we all find out that it becomes an empty promise. Things get worse the more it progresses. The more times you cross the line, it's like, okay, well, let me see how much more I can cross this line then. That's probably not what the for the most part, that's not what people's thought process is, but that's what eventually happens. Is all of a sudden, what used to be a no-no in the relationship becomes acceptable. It becomes the it becomes the new normal in the relationship. It becomes the new normal in the relationship. What I used to not allow, I'm now allowing. Rules of the house that needs to be adhered to, that needs to be respected. And this is a tough conversation. This is a conversation where you have to hold yourself accountable to it. I have to hold myself accountable to the rules of the house. I can't go to my job and make up rules as I go along. I cannot go to my job and just completely act a fool and think that I'm not going to get fired the next day. I cannot go to my job and continue to have no type of integrity and expect my bosses to trust me. Looking at them crazy like, why don't you trust me? Because you can't tell the truth. Like we're catching you, we are catching you in different lies right now. If I can't do that at my job, why is that okay to do that in my relationship? It's a tough question, but we need to hold ourselves accountable to those things. Who the person that I'm with needs to hold me accountable to that. Hey, we talked about this. This is the boundary that we said we were not going to cross, and you crossed it. We need to discuss this because this cannot happen again. It's not a threat. It's not a, hey, oh my gosh, whatever. But it is a conversation that needs to be had because what ends up happening is that the more you cross that boundary, the more it becomes normal. And we tend to normalize toxic behavior. And that is not okay. Normalizing toxic behavior is not okay. I don't care if you're the female or the male. You crossing boundaries is not okay. It's even worse when you do it on purpose. It's even worse when you cross the boundary and really show that you have no respect for it. In a real world job situation, that can get you fired. In a person who's in a healthy place, you would get fired too, relationship wise, and you would deserve it. You would deserve to be fired from that relationship. But as we've seen, as we know, and for some of us, we have experienced where it's like, I love this person so much. I desire to be with this person so much. I need to be with this person. So I will excuse said behavior. I will excuse them breaking the rules of the house. I will excuse it because for the third time in a month, they said they will never do it again. So I'm going to choose to believe them this time. And then the rules that they keep breaking now all of a sudden becomes normal behavior. We tend to, what's that word? Where we get so used to something that it just, oh, this is who they are. I want them to change, but this is who they are. This is who they are. This is what they always do. And then that behavior becomes more. It becomes even stronger. It becomes even darker in some cases. What started out as yelling in the face turned to a push 2 months later. That push turns into a shove. That shove turns into something else. We all know how this ends, right? We know how this ends when the rules of the house are not respected. If you cannot respect the rules of the house, if you keep thinking you're going to get away with it, you're going to find yourself in a situation later on down the road alone, trying to find the next victim to blame. Because that's what happens, right? When you're dealing with narcissistic type people, when you're dealing with situations like that, all they are looking for is the next victim. They're looking for the next savior, and then that savior turns into the victim. Where it's like, and then that cycle continues where it's always somebody else's fault but your own. So, but that's what happens when you break the rules of the house. How many times have you dealt with people at the job where they do something they're not supposed to do, and the first thing they want to do is blame somebody else? Well, it's because no, that's not what happened. It's because it's like no, like you deliberately broke the rules of the house. You deliberately did something you weren't supposed to do. There's nobody else to blame. There's nobody else to blame. We have the facts here. Like we've been we've observed your behavior. And I keep going to the job analogy because it's relatable, right? It's like if I cannot do certain things because of the rules and the regulations of a job, then you know what? It's okay to set rules for the house, to set rules for the relationship. It is not unhealthy of you to do so. It is not selfish of you to do so. It's super important that you do. It is super important that you do. It is super important that you are able to set boundaries for yourself. The Bible says what? To love God with your heart, soul, and mind, but to also love your neighbor as you love yourself. And loving yourself requires boundaries. Loving yourself requires rules. I love my children so much that I'm going to say no to them on certain matters of the issue because I know what that can do if I say yes. They may not understand it. They may be upset, but we're like, hey, children, no, we're not going. We're not going there. We're not doing that because I love you. Well, I don't know. Like I know you feel like I don't love you right now because I said no. Because I said no. But it's for your benefit. But then when we're in relationships, we can't do the same. I can't say no to certain things because I'm afraid I might lose them. If I say no, I'm afraid they might try to find they'll go ahead and find somebody else. Then that relationship wasn't built on love in the first place. That relationship was not built on love in the first place. It was built on manipulation. It was built on something else that is not what real love is supposed to be. Real love is not based on if you don't do this for me, I'm gone. So can you love yourself through it all? Can you love yourself in the process? You set rules of the house because you know what you're there to protect. Rules of the house are there to protect. Can you protect yourself in the relationship? Is it selfish of you to protect yourself in the relationship? Obviously, the answer is no, y'all. You protect yourself. It is not selfish. It is actually beneficial that you protect yourself in the relationship. I said it. I stand by it. Come at me if you want to. Setting rules in the relationship. Because at the end of the day, if I'm going to fall in love with you, then I need to make sure that when I do, that I'm falling in love with you correctly, that I'm falling in love with you in a healthy manner. If you don't reciprocate, if you don't love me back, then I'm not protecting myself. All I'm going to do is hurt myself. All I'm going to do is be filled with anxiety and anger or bitterness or not being able to trust because what I'm pouring into you, you are not pouring into me. You have to be able to protect yourself. The rules of the house, super important. Protect yourself. Another thing when it comes to the rules of the house is who's responsible for cleaning, right? Who's responsible for cleaning this mess? Some couples I know when I was married, I was responsible for the bathrooms. That was my gig. That was my deal. Touch up everywhere else, but the deep cleaning, the going into the bathroom and sanitizing it, that was my job. It didn't matter what was going on. That bathroom needed to be clean, right? Because it's health wise and the whole nine. But sometimes what ended up happening was, yes, that was my area to clean, but it doesn't give you the right to go in there and just completely just jack it up either. Well, this ain't my responsibility. I'm just gonna just throw stuff everywhere. We're just gonna just because it's not my responsibility to clean. And people can leave a huge mess in that bathroom because they in their minds, I'm not cleaning this anyway. And it's like, hold up, wait a minute now. Just because you're not responsible for the cleaning of this bathroom, don't mean you can just leave stuff any which way, any which type of way. Like you are still responsible for cleaning up your mess. We are not having this, right? We are not having this situation. You are responsible for cleaning your mess. Let's take that spiritually. Let's take that in relationship. Your house, your mind, who you are. Just because somebody's not responsible for your mind don't mean that they have the right to just leave a mess whenever they feel like it. You set those rules. You set those boundaries. Hey, I'm allowing you into my life, but it does not give you the right to act any which type of way. It doesn't give you the right to act funny. It doesn't give you the right to talk crazy. What you're not going to do is leave a mess. That's what you're not going to do. You're going to, if there's any mess that you created, big or small, it needs to be addressed. It needs to be fixed. Let's talk about it. Let's deal with it. Clean up this mess. You left the makeup packet all over the kitchen sink. you left toothpaste all over the sink. Put the toothbrush back where it belongs. Whatever the case is, you don't allow people, even though they're not fully responsible for cleaning that bathroom or cleaning that living room, to just go in there and just make a complete mess out of that whole situation. You set boundaries for them and you let them know you clean up after yourself. Yes, it's my job to sanitize this area, but you will not just come in here, make a complete mess, and just walk out. Do that with, we got to do that with our minds. We got to do that with our own heart. I'm allowing you into my space. I'm allowing you into my space, but it does not give you the right to just make a mess and walk out of here like you ain't got no responsibility. And if love is the foundation of the relationship, then it needs to be talked about. Those boundaries need to be set. Real talk, y'all. Real talk. Why am I going here? I don't even know. I was trying to make this conversation light. I was trying to make this thing light. Talking about the toilet seat and whether or not the toilet paper should be backwards or forwards. But at the end of the day, rules of the house needs to be set. The rules to your heart needs to be set. The rules to your mind needs to be set. And you need to be able to help each other in that process. You have to be able to help each other in that process. You have to be able to say, hey, I'm thank you for allowing me into your mind. Thank you for allowing me into your heart. How can I help clean this place? How can I help maintain what you built? I'm in a beautiful relationship. And in this relationship, in the very beginning, and we talked, and I told her, I said, hey, I spent the last year and a half building this foundation of peace. Building this foundation of peace. And I'm not going to allow anybody to come in and just completely just jack it up. Not going to allow that. That is one of my house rules. That is probably the biggest house rule that I have. If you cannot bring me peace, if you cannot help me build peace, I cannot be in this relationship. And she voiced hers. Like, hey, peace is big for me too. Integrity is big for me too. Trust is huge. We have a great understanding. So I allowed her into my house, and she's allowed me into her house. And it's a situation where it's like, how can I help you clean up? How can I help you maintain this house? And that is what needs to happen in every relationship that you walk in. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be work related. There's some people that you just have no choice but to deal with, right? But you do not have to allow them to enter into your house. And within that house comes certain rules to the house. You will not, some houses, hey, take your shoes off at the door. You got a nice little shoe rack for you. Take your shoes off at the door. Because we don't allow shoes to be tracking all over the house. You respect the rules of the house. It's not your house. If you're in your house, if you want to have shoes all day long, handle your business. Holla at your boy. Handle your business. Some houses, hey, take your shoes off at the door. Some houses, please don't smoke. You're not allowed to smoke. Some houses, no alcohol allowed. Some houses, hey, no cussing allowed. Whatever the rules of the house are, it is not your house. You abide by it. So if you're going to enter into a relationship, or if you're in a relationship and you're seeing that the rules of the house are not being followed or respected, then you need to do a check. You need to check the whole situation. You need to check yourself, and you need to check the person that is disrespecting the rules. If you want a healthy relationship, now if you want a toxic relationship, if that's what you're cool with, if that's what you're used to, then hey, handle it. Hey, to each their own. To each their own. But as for me in my house, as hey, as Joshua said, as for me in my house, you're gonna respect these rules. We will serve the Lord in this house. We will have a healthy relationship in this house. There's some areas in my life that I know I need to work on. Areas that I'm trying to improve on. And sometimes these rules, not sometimes, if you really think about it, these rules and regulation, I'm closing with this. Because I feel it in my left toe that it's time to close. But I'm closing with this. The rules are in place, not just to protect the environment that you're walking into, but it's to protect you. I set the rules in this house because at the end of the day, these rules will help make you a better person. It will make you a better person if you follow these rules. At the job force, they got safety rules. They got this and that. You got safety meetings. You got stand up talks, whatever the case is. Like, hey, X, Y, and Z, don't do X, Y, and Z. Watch out for A, B, and C because it's for your protection. It protects you. And you begin to just hone on those things. And what does it do? It makes you a better person. It makes you a better worker. It makes you more alert to what's going on. If something does happen, because you've had that conversation, because you've been talked to, because you had that practice, you were able to put into action what is now been was in practice. Makes you a better person. The rules of the house or the relationship that I'm in has is making me a better person because if I truly love that person, then I'm going to respect the rules. If I respect that person, I'm going to respect the rules of the house. And respecting the rules of the house will make you better. It's crazy, and I've been guilty of this before in the past where it's like, what you're asking me of is silly. It's small. It's compared like it's not even a big deal, yo. Not even a big deal. What is going on with this thing? Instead of looking at it from a perspective of, these rules, yeah, they're there to protect her, you know, your partner, your significant other, your spouse, whoever they may be. But it's designed to make you a better person. It's designed to humble you. It's designed to give you compassion because sometimes we look at what is being asked of us, but we don't ever take the time to fully understand the reason why. What may be small to you may be huge to them because of what they've experienced, what they've had to go through, and what they will not tolerate anymore because they don't want a repeat of past relationships. Can you follow the rules to the house? I know I do, because I want to be a better person. I know that setting my own rules for my protection, my benefit, can only benefit the person that I'm with. My experiences and relationships, if anything that has taught me, it's taught me what I don't want in a person. I used to, when we all had that moment of, Lord, where is that person? Jesus, like, why are they not here? Why? God, I want that person. We cry out to God for that person. We cry out to God, hey, Lord, where are they? I'm ready. I'm ready for them, Jesus. While we're soaking in our sorrows, in our, oh, why, woe is me moments. Why can't they come? Why are they not here? We cry out those things. We're praying those things. And I used to pray to God, like, Lord, every single time I prayed about what it is that I wanted in somebody, it never worked out. You never gave me peace about certain people. Didn't have peace with them. Like, sometimes when you're in that dating pool, you're dealing with super spiritual people who have heard from the Lord that you're supposed to be the one, and then other times you're dealing with people who are not saved at all, and all they want is one thing, and you're like, that's not even me no more. So I can't even engage in that type of behavior. But it's like, so there's that frustration. There's that, oh my gosh, like, and so I just prayed a prayer, and this is just me, y'all. I said, Lord, I don't even really know what I want. Like, I had to come to that honest, Lord, fine. Yes, I really don't know what I want in somebody. But I do know what I don't want. And I don't need somebody like this. I don't need somebody like that. I don't need somebody who behaves in such like, I began to just tell God what I didn't need, what I didn't want in somebody. And then finally I had to stop myself. I said, Lord, I said, at the end of the day, God, I'm gonna release this control to you. I don't know what I want. Wants can change from one moment to the next. I can want a burger one moment and then change my mind 10 minutes down the road and say I want me some burritos from Taco Bell. That's how quick wants can change. But I said, Lord, I said, you know what I need. You know what I need. I don't know what I want, but you know what I need. So I'm going to lay this at your feet. You deal with it as you need to. Then God began to tell me, hey, just be patient. Hey, be intentional about taking your time. That was God's word. Be intentional about taking your time. So I was still dating around, whatever the case was, but I was intentional about taking my time. And God will put in my spirit, ooh, it's coming close. Ooh, it's, you're about to be bombarded, and if Flavors was here, Flavors will tell you that I told him, I said, man, and like the Lord told me that it was gonna be an influx of attention and this, that, and the third, and the whole nine. But God was telling me, just be intentional about your time. And so I started getting all this attention all of a sudden, coming out the woodworks, and I'm trying to take my time. And I'm like, this one, is it this one? Is it this one? I don't know. Hey, whatever the case is. And then I received a word from a friend of mine who was like, hey, God said that he's going to send a woman to you. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm just going to stop with this whole dating stuff and just let them come to me. Right. So I'm just like, oh, could that be the one? Could that be the one? Oh, I don't know. And I'm just like, but God was like, hey, be intentional about your time. Be intentional about taking your time. And then finally, as The Rock says, finally, it was like, because I obeyed what the Lord was telling me to do, I obeyed the rules of the house. Be intentional about taking your time. Somebody came into my life, and initially, I was taking my time. Got a funny story that I might share later in another later episode. It's intentional about taking my time. But the more time that I spent, it went from like, Lord, everybody else has been removed at one given point in time or the other. If there's any time to remove her, you let me know because I'm fixing to jump in. I'm fixing to be committed to this thing. I'm fixing to commit myself to getting to truly know her and getting to truly be with her. And God was like, go for it. And I can say it was one of the best decisions that I've made. The relationship has been going good, been going great, and all that wonderful stuff. And even in this relationship, rules have been set, and it's been healthy. It's been productive. It's been everything that I needed and then some, because I respected God's rule to his house. And so I leave y'all with this. When you respect God's rules, he will bless you. He will surprise you. And he will honor you for respecting the rules of his house. Whatever it is that God is asking of you, honor it, respect it. There's a purpose and a reason behind it. It's to it's to better you. The rules are set to improve you. In a relationship, when rules are set, when boundaries are followed, it improves you. It makes you a better person. When they say, hey, when we get into an argument, can you not raise your voice? And then when you start raising your voice, hey, can you lower your voice? You're getting angry, and you're like, I'm not angry yet. I am not angry. We've all been there, right? Ooh, tell me one more time that I'm angry, and I'll show you angry. It's funny, but not funny. But all that does, y'all, it makes you a better person. For you to be able to control yourself, for you to be able to control your tongue, like, hey, can you not say that? That is not healthy, and I do not appreciate that. And that is a boundary that cannot be crossed. Do not speak evil things about to me, about this relationship, whatever the case is. It makes you a better person. Hey, can you wait? If you're at the store and you're gonna buy something more than $50, stop and let's talk about it. Because I need you to be responsible with your money. Rules of the house. Hey, 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 hey. Can you leave the toilet seat down for me, please? I don't want my booty in the toilet water at 3 o'clock in the morning. Listen, y'all, I love you guys. Hope this makes sense to you as it made sense to me. Respect the rules of the house. Trust God with the rules. It's going to make you better. Trust the rules in the relationship because it is designed to improve the quality of your life. It is designed to produce a healthy relationship that you always wanted. You wanted a healthy relationship. Write the rules down, make it plain. Make sure that your partner follows the rule, but most importantly, y'all, make sure that you follow the rules, right? Because I can't be hypocritical. I can't say, hey, well, you better do what I asked you to do, but I'm not going to do what I'm supposed to do. It's hypocritical. That's not unconditional love, right? That is not the love that we're trying to promote here. That's not the healthy type of love. So you don't want to be like those type of people. You want to love because following the rules of the house takes humility, y'all. You have to be humble in order to follow the rules of the house. Trust me, it's not if this was meant to be easy, everybody and their mama will be enjoying a great life, no divorces, no nothing like that. Unfortunately, it happens, and unfortunately, we got to move on with our lives. But in order to move on from our lives, we have to take ownership for the things that we did wrong in the relationship and move forward and understand that what I am doing is to better my life. I'm setting boundaries for my life to improve my life, to make me better. And I'm going to be in a relationship. I'm going to be in a relationship that's going to improve my life, improve the quality of my life, to help me make better decisions. And the person that I'm with is also going to improve the quality of their life, and they're also going to make better decisions because they are respecting the rules of the house. All right. Listen, y'all, appreciate your time. Be with us here at the F.I.R.M Podcast, where every Saturday night we are live, we are popping. I know it's been a little crazy. Life has been coming at us in different type of ways. Flavius, again, for those who missed in the beginning, is working hard at his job, handling business down there. So, but he did make a promise to your boy, and he said that he will be with us next week. So join us again next Saturday, right here on the F.I.R.M Podcast, where every Saturday night we are dropping jewels, we are dropping dimes, and no, we're not snitching on nobody, and nor are we selling drugs. We are just dropping the truth. We are dropping the truth, people, here at the F.I.R.M Podcast. So with that being said, you guys, hey, thank you guys so much for the opportunity to be able to join you guys and to talk about this amazing, amazing conversation about relationships and setting the rules of the house. So with that being said, y'all, see y'all on the flip side.